It's exciting to get rolling to number 2 and find out how much improvement we can make from week 1 to week 2. But we've had a good week of practice, good preparation, and I'm excited to see what we got in week 2 against a really, really good football team. I mean, Tennessee will come in here and they will look the part. They're athletic, they're big, they're physical, they're a good football team. So we're looking forward to it. Questions?
I thought it was interesting, their game against Ball State. I think the Ball State quarterback dropped back about 40 sometimes. They didn't have any sacks. They had some pressures, but they never actually got him down. What did you see when you watched it? Was he just getting rid of the ball quick, or were they not
They
getting
got
there?
the ball out of their hands pretty quick, and we'll see.
Last year, Hendon Hooker used a lot of hot passes. The RPO hit to the sideline. They got a few big plays out of that last year. How much did you guys work on that this week, and what do you guys look?
We worked on it a lot. When they did hit that, we were in a zone pressure. And again, it's those splits that are so wide that we usually don't have that problem. But when your safeties are lined up and you're trying to disguise, and they're in these wide splits, it's just a long way for us to go. So we've got to be careful. When they put that tight end on the line of scrimmage, what we got. So we got some different things to help us there, we think. But I'm sure they'll try it again.
Do you feel
With
like
the
they're
emphasis that's been put on tempo that you guys have talked about all week, how important is time of possession when you guys have the football to give your defense a little bit of a break?
It's always important. I mean, when you're playing them, Ball State took the ball. When they won the coin toss, they said we'll take the ball. They wanted to keep them off the field to start off with. Last year we deferred and we didn't start fast, but so we'll see what happens there with the coin toss. But we like to play defense first, period. Tempo. We want to keep them off the field. I mean, they got one of the top 10 offenses in the country, and time possession is critical. It's critical every week, we think, but especially if you got an explosive offense.
Pat, you said, go ahead, Jerry.
Thank you. You mentioned
You guys are snapping today.
you mentioned that Tennessee has a really, really good football team. A lot of people think you have a really, really good football team.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of game that, whether you win it or not, can put you on the road toward elite status, special status in the line of country?
I think so. I mean, again, there's 2 good football teams. I wouldn't talk about us, but I just know we got a really good football team coming in here. We'll find out what we got Saturday, but we'll decide that after the game. I'll talk to you after the game at the press conference, and we'll decide how elite or not elite we are.
Coach, I saw you had the throwback polo on Monday with Johnny Majors Classic. What was your relationship like with Coach Majors, and how special is it that we get to honor a guy with such a storied background with both schools?
I mean, he's won a national championship here. It's Johnny Majors. I had a great relationship with him, and he was a special guy, just a great personality. Probably met him 25 times. I mean, he was always around. He came to a lot of games. I think I've told you in the past, maybe last year, I got a video of his favorite play where I asked him, got him on the board and videoed it. I mean, saw him at a bunch of Nike events. I know he spent time with them. Matter of fact, we were at a Nike event, and he was trying to get back to Pittsburgh. I said, well, just come with me. He jumped on a plane and get back, here. But so there's some special moments we've had with Johnny Majors, and he's special.
What made him so special as a football coach and as a recruiter and everything that he was able to do at this program in the 70s?
Number one, he's a fantastic coach, but he's a great person too. He had a great personality, did a great job recruiting. He had lots of scholarship numbers back in the day. I don't know if you've heard those stories. The old timers have heard. Jerry probably knows. How many scholarships he had? About 110 scholarships. And
93.
93. I think it was more than that. At least the stories he told. I never looked at the roster, but and then they got a bunch of commitments, and he's like, okay. He went to the chancellor and said, I need more scholarships. So they gave him like 20 more. It's like unlimited. So he had the chancellor's wallet, I guess.
And we discussed the offensive line on Monday. How do you think they've responded this week?
We'll find out. I mean, they've had a good week like they did a week ago, but I think sometimes you get woken up a little bit. It's going to be a challenge for them, and we're going to challenge them to, I think sometimes everybody's saying, they're all coming back, they're all coming back, they're feeling good, and they got to play like they're all coming back and came back with a purpose.
Can you or do you use the fact that you guys are underdogs as like motivation with these guys?
I don't know. I don't know if it really matters. I haven't really addressed it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I feel like we're underdogs all the time. I mean, period. I mean, I felt like we were an underdog last week. I always feel like, like everybody, I got a lot of respect, I guess, for every opponent that walks through the doors or wherever we travel. So I'm always going to take that philosophy. I'm not taking anything for granted. Oh, we're playing this team. We're playing Albany. It doesn't matter, man. They're good football. They got players, and they're going to play their tails off, regardless of who you play. So, you know, I don't know how players in 2022 care about the underdog. You know, if I tell them, are they going to be like, "Oh my God, we're underdogs"? You know, we have a chance. I don't know if it really matters. I mean, we need to go play.
To build off the motivation, do you think this group is any more motivated that you didn't move up in the rankings this week, or is that something you don't think they even pay attention to?
I don't know if they pay attention. I had no idea. So, you know, I hope they don't know either.
Go ahead, Chris.
Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, they run a lot of too-high safety looks on defense. What does that do for you guys on offense? How do you approach that? Does that change your mentality on offense?
No question it changed your mentality. I mean, they play a lot of two high, and they play a lot of one high. And you guys will be able to see it from the press box when they go one high. So they do a lot of different things. So they'll you know, they're going to bring both safeties down and get into cover 3 or cover 1. They want to match your safeties up on tight ends. So you know, that's what matters. That matters everything. That's what a quarterback's looking for is, you know, not only in our run game but our passing game. It matters. That's everything. So
I'm assuming there was a lot of simulation with that quick tempo that Tennessee likes to run with your defense. How did they respond this week to those, you know, practices and those simulations?
we did good. I mean, I think we have a routine in how we practice, how we expose them to a lot of plays in a row. We've had an 8-play, you know, fast tempo, which you can see how they melt. You find out who can play 8 plays or more. You know, you can't go 15-play drive. You know, they won't be ready for Saturday. So we expose them to them on Tuesday, a lot of plays, and then we taper back as we go to the point where today we're not doing any tempo. We just want to save their legs. But they have to understand the tempo and the urgency to get lined up. And you know, you'll see our guys, you know, start of the play, get the call. Once we finish that play, their job is to get to their home position. Okay, the safety's back on the hash, lined up over number 2. Before they even get the call, they got to get home. So you'll watch our guys, and you know, I hope it's clinic tape as far as how fast they get back. And I tell them, you don't rest until you get back. Okay, whether it's 7, maybe you don't get a rest, or maybe they snap in 14 seconds, maybe it's 3rd down and you get a 20-second break. But we practice getting home is critical. You watch Alabama. I mean, Alabama, you know, the receiver just ran by everybody for 70 yards. The corner's looking at the sideline, and the guy they snap the ball and go. I mean, you got to get your eyes where they need to be, and you got to be where you need to be. I mean, they catch a lot of people by surprise.
You've played against a lot of these up-tempo offense teams over the last handful of years. Does any of that preparation start in the summer?
It's a great question. We don't. I mean, in summer practices we do go long drives. We'll go 10-play, 8-play drives where we're just saying you're staying out there, even if the offense goes 3 and out. So yeah, we do prepare, but not with Tennessee in mind, not with the tempo in mind, because we're in condition. You know, it's like talking to Coach Stack and our people. You know, just scientifically, you know, you can't expose it to them all the time, but as long as they're exposed to a long drive like that, and our offense does tempo too. So we've had tempo periods. You know, I'm not sure we snapped it that fast though. So, but if you're in shape and you train it this week and we touch on it, we should be okay.
Bet, you talked about how the deep ball didn't connect last week. It was very close here and there. Have you seen
For us, you mean?
Yes, for you.
Yeah.
For you guys. Have you seen you guys, your guys, Keaton and the guys, kind of connect more this week? More confident about that? And does their fast tempo offense weigh into how often you guys might call shot plays if you want to give your defense a breather?
Well, it's like I'm not gonna handcuff a coordinator and say, hey, don't throw deep shots. Now it's 2nd and 10, and now we're behind the sticks and all those things. That, to me, you can't do that. To say, hey, call this or don't call this. They got to call as they see it, and we have to read our keys. And the quarterback's got to make decisions based on what they're giving us. Period. 2 deep, 1 deep, doesn't matter. But I'm never going to handcuff a coordinator on, hey, run the ball 3 times in a row so we get 3 minutes of possession and we're punting. That doesn't make any sense. So, our offense's goal is to score touchdowns and move the ball down the field, and I don't care how they do it, just get first downs and score.
And do you feel that Keaton and the guys have made some progress in that department?
Yeah, they have. And again, it comes down to to angles. A couple of those times we didn't. Like Bub Means is coming too far, and then he's got to adjust that way. It should have been a skinnier post, and it's all those first time things. So that's why I said, when you look at it, it wasn't really Keaton, it was some of the routes. Keaton was pretty good, but now all of a sudden Bub's run that post, and if you see him, he had to bend back that way. Should already been on that path. We had what we wanted. We just didn't run the route great. So we made progress, yes.
Sorry.
Might be a broader question, but how good could Rodney Hammond be this year?
You know, I think Rodney can be really good. I mean, I think Izzy can be really good. But I think we've got capable backs that are good football players. So they can all be capable. You know, Vince Davis included.
And from as far as Izzy goes, what did you see from him? Obviously, had the big catch and run in the game on Thursday. What did you see from him on the ground game, and what is his importance on Saturday?
You know, Izzy starts the game off, and sometimes it's a little different, and you don't get the opportunities. You know, Rodney obviously came in, and you felt like a hot hand, and let's go with him. But I would imagine if Izzy was in those same situations, he's going to do the same thing. That's how much faith we got in Izzy, you know, Rodney, Vince, and Seabook for that matter. So sometimes you get the different looks, and you know, you got Jacoby helping you out a little bit, getting the end zone. So, you know, it's so different. But you know, we feel really confident in what Izzy can do.
What do you remember about Mitch Trubisky in the 2016 North Carolina game?
He's a good football player. I remember a 17-play drive at the end where both the running backs, you know, tackled our blitzers, and he was thrown into the receiver that was here. What's his name? Switzer. You know, 17-play drive, and you know, a few penalties did get called. You know, I think Hood was the tailback at the time. I remember the last drive, but he's an accurate passer. He's a playmaker. I think he'll fit right in the offense there. Don't want to jinx him.
Anything else?
How much has Rodney grown as a person? I remember when he first got here, you told us how like he had you gave him a pillow or something like that because he didn't have stuff to move in, and you were like, when am I getting my pillow back? How much have you seen him grow?
Still got my pillow and my blanket, comforter, the whole deal, sheets. So I don't know if he's got his own sheets right now or if he changes every week and he's got a spare on the side. I hope he's, you know, but you know, I don't go check their dorm rooms out too often at the Bridges. You know, I think he's grown up a lot. I mean, I think every one of our kids grows up every year. I shouldn't say every one of them. 98% of them do. Some of them don't. Some may never.
Pat, is your policy about not talking about injuries unless their season ending still in effect?
Yes. Their season ending, I will let you know, Jerry. Great question.
Last week, you came in the post-game press conference and you said you weren't happy with the play, but you got out with a win. Do you think the team has responded and maybe like they've tightened up a little bit in practice just because the play was not spectacular and they still came out with a win?
No question, man. I mean, I think that's what you do, and that's why you need it. You know, you can't tell in a scrimmage. We get Jersey scrimmage, and you find out in games. And I think they kind of see where you are and okay, what we have to do to get better. That's the beautiful thing about games is you know that's why it's nice to win a game and know that okay, what do we have to fix? What do we have to be worried about on game day? Whether it's talking to receivers or corners or O-linemen about their technique, and you know you already saw it last week. Hey, you did the same thing you did last week after a series. We need to know that stuff. So now we know what we saw. We will make sure you know on the sideline if we start seeing the same thing, it's the same thing again. Then either got to put somebody else in or. Yeah, I know Coach Signetti will not be on the phone saying Keaton's late again because Keaton wasn't late, you know, with his throws. It was other things. So now we'll be looking to that and reminding the receivers, hey, make sure you get the proper depth. We don't know. You guys are trying to get a question in.
I don't know if anybody has anything better than this, but what made the Trubisky good?
He's a quarterback. I mean, he's good, Jerry. I mean, is this a Steeler press conference? I told you guys Rudolph was good too, so I'm not saying anything.
Siebel only had one carry on Thursday. Is there a specific reason for that?
Again, he's still learning the offense. When he did get that one carry, he put it on the ground a little bit there. That would be part of it. Ball security is important, but I don't think he'll ever fumble again. But you know.
Brandon Hill had a huge interception for you guys last year. What do you guys have to do to put your safeties and your corners in more positions to read Hendon Hooker's eyes?
You know, depends on what the coverage is. It all. I mean, you got to put them in good coverage. I mean, like I said, we're going to be manned up out there a lot. And when you watch it, you're going to be like, and you know, if you're ever trying to roll it, if you try to play cover 3 against these guys, it's hard because, you know, to have a guy in the middle of the field against these guys, he's doing nothing. I mean, I think everybody in there can play middle of the field because nothing comes to you, except you know, and that's why we struggle with some of those tight ends down the middle, and they were cover 3s when we did that. So we have to be careful of doing that.
Is the Y shoot a big threat this week again?
Oh, it always is with these guys.
Pat, Charlie talked on, I think it was Tuesday, about the job the scout team had to do, getting ready to run Tennessee's offense, not just the scheme but the tempo. How difficult was that for them, and how did you kind of assist them in that?
They did a great job. You know, again, we get into a period where it's like, you know, Charlie's got the left side of the line, someone else got the right side of the line, someone's got the receivers on the left, someone's got the receivers on the right, someone's got the backfield, and they're not doing any coaching. We'll watch the video later just to get. I mean, our offense snapped in our fast tempo period under 12 seconds every snap, 8 plays in a row. That's incredible, and they did a good job at executing too. Now, are the linemen 310 pounds? Are they what? You know, the only thing is the personnel's a little bit different, right? But they were at least able to give us the tempo and a look. So our scout team, you know, has done a great job.
Is Vince going to be involved more this week?
I believe so, yeah.
What'd you
Do
see
have a
from
preferred
the?
kickoff time on Saturdays? I know it's kind of
3:36
3:30.
preferred.
What's the extra 6 minutes?
Might be a
for?
5-minute slide, but we'll find out.
What's the extra 6 minutes for?
It's ABC.
What'd you see?
That's kickoff time. I don't know.
Your outside linebackers last week. I mean, both guys made their first starts here. You know, and you know, what'd you see out of how they responded over the last week? How they kind of processed what they saw on Thursday night?
Yeah, I think they responded this week for sure. More locked in. I think, you know, it's like Bengali. You know, I talked to him on Saturday. I don't know if I told you that, and he was like, "Coach, I got to be better. I know what I got." You know, he said practice is different than the games. It's like, yes. That's why when we go scrimmage, we try to tell you it's game-like. But again, different formations, different offense. We'll see how they respond this week. But I expect to get Solomon DeShields and Tyler Wiltz reps as well. We'll find out what they have as well. So we're going to get some different combinations out there, and we have to with the tempo. We've got to play more guys at that position just because of, I mean, you're looking at maybe 100 plays. I mean, they make run 100 plays.
Now, do you guys better prepare coming off a game like, or a team like West Virginia compared to another team?
You know what, I feel like that, but, you know, I'm not going to say they're not prepared because they're going to be prepared too. So I don't know if it matters, but I just know our guys have been in a battle, you know, this year. You find out, you know, like not having Kenny Pickett, you know, at halftime, you know, say 3 words compared to like how we sticking together, the 22 teams sticking together. I think that's what you find out, that our guys will be resilient and they're going to fight all the way, you know, to the end. They're not going to go, oh, we got a block punt, oh, it's over. You know, they're not going to have that attitude. So you find that out, you know, about different teams. So that's what we know about our guys, is you know, is that they're going to stick with it and believe. Okay.